students, this is the first video lecture of chapter 10, Living Organisms and Their Surroundings, class 6th, Science. Okay, so in this chapter, as you read the chapter name, there is simple concept is they are trying to give is we are going to study about living organisms and how the life of these organisms is affected by their surroundings. What all components are there in the surrounding of these living organisms, how they are affecting, and how the factors which are affecting the living organisms. Okay, so how they are adapting themselves. Now what do you understand by adapt is how they are trying to suit themselves to the changes that are occurring in their environment. We would be discussing in detail, okay, each new term, like the definition for first of all environment. What is environment? What is ecology? Okay, specifically in this video lecture we would be starting with environment, ecology, different components like biotic, abiotic components. Okay, now we would be in detail discussing about biotic components and their interaction, what are biotic components, how they are interacting. Okay, so that we would be discussing in this video lecture, and I would be ending this session with giving you some few questions which can be asked in your examination. Okay, so I would like to start with the first topic or the introduction, okay, which specifically focuses that where all do you get living organisms. So obviously if I say living organisms, that means living things. Okay, now if I want to define living organisms, so what do you understand by living organisms? So you might be thinking the organisms which may breathe, okay, which take in air, give out air, or else let us do the modification, take in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide in case of humans and many animals. In case of plants, they take in carbon dioxide, give out oxygen. That is photosynthesis. But plants do breathe. Plants also respire. Therefore, plants are also living organisms. Okay, we moved on to next. If we talk about living organisms, we defined one characteristic which make that particular thing living. That is the breathing or the respiration. Okay, in case if I talk about there are exceptions. Yes, science is full of exceptions. Okay, what do we understand by exceptions is? Exceptions is कि मैंने एक स्टेटमेंट बोला कि सारे लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स सांस लेते हैं, or else living organisms are considered to be living if the organism is able to breathe or respire. But there are some exceptions where the organisms they are not involved in breathing. Okay, but that we would be going in detail in higher standards. Here the thing is, first characteristic is breathing or respiration. What it would be next if we talk about characteristics? So that would be like consciousness or feeling. So organisms do have feelings. They are conscious. That means they are aware of their surroundings. हमारे आसपास क्या हो रहा है हमें पता है. We can feel it, or else we can live it. Okay, while in case if I compare one organism with a stone, so stone is not aware where it is sitting unless and until we would be writing biography, or else what we can say is Atmakatha. Okay, so Atmakatha is biography, autobiography. But in case if we talk about Atmakatha of pencil, so pencil is a non-living thing, है ना. So अगर हम उसकी मतलब बायोग्राफी लिखेंगे, so that is something else, है ना. मतलब हम ऐसा सोचते हैं कि पेंसिल भी अगर जिंदा होती, so how it would be feeling. Yes, something like this we write, है ना. So the thing is, non-living organisms are not aware of their surroundings, but these non-living organisms are affecting the life of living organisms organisms in many ways. Okay, so we start with, where do these organisms are found. So if you think, you would be able to get the organisms here in the atmosphere. Okay, if we specifically talk about biosphere, okay, or else, okay, let us okay, consider biosphere. Biosphere means what? This is the part of the earth, part of the ecology. We would be reaching to that in few minutes, what is ecology. But is biosphere is where the living organisms live. You find, what you find in biosphere: hydrosphere, lithosphere, okay, and atmosphere. In case if I talk about hydrosphere, okay, I am not, you do not have to remember this, just make you aware that living organisms can be found in hydrosphere, that is inside water, can be found on land and inside land, that is lithosphere. Okay, let me write the terms. What I am speaking is about biosphere. What I am speaking is about biosphere, and this biosphere include hydrosphere. Okay, so hydrosphere is in water. So the organisms living in water are ultimately living in hydrosphere. So you might find living organisms living inside water. Okay, for example, fishes, octopus, whale, dolphins, and many more. Okay, we talk about next sphere is lithosphere. So lithos, that means something related to land. So organisms, you might be knowing organisms living on land. Terrestrial, yes, we would be reaching to that habitat wala topic, okay, later in this chapter. But the thing is terrestrial. Okay, so the ones which are living on land. Okay, next, so the examples for this would be obviously human beings, but I am not talking specifically on land, but there are some organisms which are living inside the soil, inside the land. Okay, for example, some insects, some worms such as earthworms. Okay, so this was about lithosphere. In case if I talk about atmosphere, this is something related to air. Okay, so atmosphere is something related to air. Okay, so you may be find you would be saying that birds. So birds are not living in air for resting, for fooding. Okay, I mean for food, for reproduction. They come down to the earth. They have to come. है ना? So that is they are not living air, but they can be the part of the atmosphere, and air is important for all these living organisms, whether they are found in water or whether they are found on land, inside land. All organisms require air in a way, require water in a way, and require soil. Okay, so here you see land, that is soil, hydrosphere, water, okay, and atmosphere, that is air. So air, soil and water are the essential components, are the important components for living organisms, and they are affecting the life of living organisms in a certain way. Since these are the non-living things, then too also they are affecting. How they are affecting, what is the generalized terms for this, you can use for these non-living components. Okay, we would be discussing step by step. Here I provided you some introduction, that living organisms, where do you find? You find in all the spheres on this earth. Okay, you find everywhere on the earth living organisms. Okay, living organisms can be also found inside the water, on the surface of the water, on land, inside land. Okay, everywhere. Okay, where the temperature is not suitable for human beings, there are some animals where you can find where you cannot survive, but they can, because they are adapted, उन्हें suit किया. For example, if we talk about camels, as soon as I said camel, what first thing come in your mind? Something brown, big, tall animal. Okay, along with camel, when you are imagining the image of camel. Okay, when I say camel, okay, so what you would be thinking, or what would be your imagination, is not the CAMEL. okay, of camel. The camel would be as tall as you are seeing, as I am seeing. Okay, the thing is, the camel which you are thinking is not short, or is not small, or is not fat. But you know, the thing is, we would be all be imagining, imagining a photo of camel which is, basically a camel. But along with camel, we would be thinking of the surrounding of camel. When you think of camel, the photo of camel does not comes in your mind. Along with camel, you would be imagining what? The habitat, the surrounding. I would be reaching to habitat, as I have said, in the later part of the chapter. But since introduction to these terms would be better enough if I start from now onwards only with the examples. Okay. So as I said, camel. So camel के साथ साथ तुम क्या सोचोगे? उसके आसपास की environment. और क्या आएगा? डेजर्ट आएगा. तो सिर्फ कैमल अकेला नहीं सोच सकते, और जब डेजर्ट के बारे में सोचोगे तो कैमल साथ में आएगा. That means what? That camel has adapted to the environment of desert, which is very hot and dry climate. How camel has adapted to live in such a hot climate, or how polar bears have adapted or suited themselves to live in a very low temperature, at very low temperature, or in snow covered high mountains. How are they able to live in such extreme temperatures? This is because they have adapted themselves, they have suited themselves to live in that environment. And if I ask polar bear to come from that snowy mountains, I would ask polar bear said that you please come here in the moderate climate wala India, okay, because you might be feeling cold. So you please, polar bear, come in Gujarat and live with us, or else anywhere else in India or anywhere else in the world where there is moderate climate. So polar bear won't be feeling comfortable with you, or else what we can say is, it is adapted to that environment. In what environment? In very cold environment. So it is very comfortable for him to live in there. Okay, so if we talk about this, so they live deep inside oceans. There are living organisms which also live deep inside oceans. Even so much of that where the light, the sunlight cannot penetrate. What is I am saying is, suppose this is the sea, surface of the ocean, okay, not sea but ocean. This is the total depth of ocean. So although the depth of ocean is not this much, but a very high depth is there, okay, very much depth is there of a particular ocean. Oceans are very deep in nature. So when I talk about the sunlight, so the sunlight is able to reach to a certain depth only. After that till the you can say bed, either you can say sea bed or ocean bed, जो नीचे एकदम लैंड वाला पोर्शन जहाँ पे होता है ओशन का, there the light is not able to reach completely. तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, यहाँ पे in deep ocean, okay, in the deepest part of ocean, light cannot come, okay, light cannot reach to this portions, okay. So since this is the deepest part है ना, तो वहाँ पे पानी का प्रेशर भी बहुत ज्यादा होगा. ओशन में जितना नीचे जाओगे उतना पानी का प्रेशर तुम पर बढ़ता जाएगा. Again, the details regarding which you would be studying in higher standards. But the thing is, when you would be reaching here, it would be very difficult for you to survive. But there are some organisms which are obviously considered as living. They are very comfortably living in this environment. ओके यहाँ पे ऐसे ऑर्गेनिजम्स है जिनको ये भी नहीं पता कि सन जैसी कोई चीज है. ओके, सन तो कहाँ है, सन है बाहर, ठीक है, वो इसी एनवायरनमेंट में रहते हैं, इतना ऊपर आते ही नहीं है. कुछ आते हैं, कुछ इधर ही रहते हैं. जो इधर रहते हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे अंधेरा है, तो उन्होंने अपने आप को इस तरह से अडेप्ट किया कि वो खुद की लाइट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, जिसको हम बोलते हैं बायोल्यूमिनेसेंस. Okay, this is not mentioned in textbook, but only for your extra knowledge. Bioluminescence, that means the organisms which are able to produce their own light inside their body, they produce light. Okay, like in case if you have heard about insect known as jugnu or fireflies. Okay, so they produce light at night. You have observed, okay, in movies or in videos or in real, whatever. Okay, the thing is they are also exhibiting this characteristic which is known as bioluminescence, that is they are able to produce light. Similarly, since organisms living here do not know that sun जैसी भी कोई चीज है, sunlight भी है, ठीक है, so since they feel that there is so much dark, they adapted themselves and they try to produce their own light. So the thing I want to explain you from this is, even though there is, for you it is very difficult to live in this portion, in the deepest part of the ocean. But for those animals which are living already, it is very comfortable for them. They have suited themselves. Okay. So next is they can be found in snow-covered high mountains, as I discussed. For example, polar bears. There are many other organisms, and not only living organisms include animals. Plants are also included in living organisms. Although these snowy covered high mountains do not support much vegetation, but there are certain plants which can be grown and cultivated here in this region, and they can be only grown in this region only. Okay, like alpine and tundra wala region, okay, supports coniferous forests. Okay, so Xmas tree or Christmas tree you have heard about, or the shape of the tree would be something like this. So that trees or the coniferous tree, pine, cedrus, okay, there are many plants which are supported in this region. Again, if we talk about around and inside your house, so you can find many living organisms inside your house. Okay, obviously you and your family members are there, but if you have placed some pets or around your house, you would be watching some domestic animals, plants are there, trees are there, neighbors are there. Okay, so you would be finding, you would be able to observe many living organisms inside your house and outside your house. Okay, inside your house, apart from your family members and pets, there are certain organisms which you cannot see but are there. Okay, whether it be your inside your house or outside your house, there are some organisms floating or flowing in the air, and that is nothing but microorganisms like viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa. Different organisms are there, and these are nothing but microorganisms which you cannot see. You cannot see directly with your eyes कि भाई ये organism है, अच्छा ये bacteria है. So these bacteria, fungi could be harmful for you or harmless for you, and could be beneficial for you. Okay, so all these kinds of microorganisms you can see inside your house and outside your house. Obviously you won't be able to see, but they are present, I mean to say. So that means different organisms you can find around yourself. Okay, and these are living organisms. In fact, you can find some living organisms inside your bodies too. Okay, so there are many bacteria, useful bacteria in your stomach which are helping you in digestion. There are few bacteria and microorganisms which are present in different parts of your body and helping you to do different body functions. Apart from this, there are also harmful bacteria which can be causing disease. Okay, they might be responsible for causing disease, and if your immune system is strong enough, it can fight and remove these disease causing microorganisms outside your body. The bottom line to say for regarding this topic is that living organisms can be said as ubiquitous. The term is ubiquitous. That means these are found everywhere. Okay, so now different places have different organisms. Okay, as we discussed that camel would be found in desert, polar bear would be found in snow covered high mountains. Okay, or the place where the temperature is very low. So if you move from region to region, the kind of animals would change, but human beings have adapted themselves in many different kinds of environment. Okay, you can find them in extreme environments, not more extreme environments. Extreme means एकदम high टेम्परेचर या एकदम कम टेम्परेचर, तो इतना एक्सट्रीम एनवायरमेंट्स में नहीं है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी दे हैव एबल टू सर्वाइव इन दीज environments. Okay, now in case if I talk about so living organisms adapt themselves to their surroundings. How they have adapted, we discussed a lot. Moving down to next, they not live in isolation. लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स चाहेंगे कि वो ग्रुप में रहे या मतलब कभी भी कोई भी एक ऑर्गेनिज्म अकेला नहीं होता. Okay, if you are able to find you come to any one single state of India, or you come to any one single part of a particular continent, country, okay, you would be finding or you would be able to find humans in groups. सिमिलरली एनिमल्स. ओके, तो कभी भी ऐसा अकेला नहीं कि इस कॉन्टिनेंट में तुम्हें अकेला एक इंसान मिलेगा या एक अकेला एनिमल मिलेगा. नो, they are not found in isolation, although you would be thinking about polar bear. Okay, so there is polar bear are there, but since it is very extreme environment, तो वो बहुत दूर दूर रहते. उसके अलावा आइसोलेशन का मतलब ये नहीं कि दूसरे ऑर्गेनिजम्स होने चाहिए. प्लांट्स भी हैं, मतलब लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स के साथ कुछ एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स होंगे. लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स में भी सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं कि एनिमल्स अकेले नहीं, एनिमल्स के साथ प्लांट्स भी होंगे. The thing they are trying to say from this statement is that living and non-living are living in dependent on each other. Not only living organisms are dependent on non-living, but non-living is also affecting the life of living organisms in many ways. Okay, so life affected by both living and non-living things around it. Suppose life of a particular organism is affected by both. Okay, अभी तुम बीमार हो रहे हो, किसकी वजह से? तो तुम्हारे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ने तुम्हें डिजीज कॉज किया. That means your life is affected by living organisms. Also your life is affected by non-living. Like suppose temperature, sunlight. Okay, so temperature results in the changing in season. Okay, so that is also affecting your life, your lifestyle. Okay, so the lifestyle of a particular organisms depends on both or is affected by both living and non-living things. So if I talk about living things, so what are the living things? As I discussed, microorganisms are the ones, but plants are ultimately providing food to that particular organism. In case if we talk about non-living, air, water, soil, as we already discussed. Okay, if you see the next point, everything affecting and surrounding organism is known as environment of that particular organism. Okay, everything which is surrounding that organism and affecting that organism is referred as environment of that particular organism. Okay, now study of relationship between living organisms or living things and their environment is called ecology. So two new terms we encountered here is environment, that is the surroundings, everything which is present in the particular organism's surrounding, that is affecting the life of that organism is included or is known as environment of that particular organism. And the study of this living organism and its environment, or how the environment is affecting, that is known as, okay, the relationship between the organism and its surrounding is known as ecology. Okay, So 2 new terms we have discussed. So now next is, after discussing about environment and ecology, biotic components. Biotic means living. Living components are also known as biotic components. Now what components are would be included in this? So that includes all living organisms constitute biotic or biological environment. Okay, so the organism which is living and its surrounding. अच्छा, तो अगर मैं लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स की बात करूं कि भाई कोई पर्टिकुलर एनवायरनमेंट में तुम्हें लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म मिल रहे हैं, तो दैट पर्टिकुलर एनवायरनमेंट वुड बी रेफर्ड एज बायोलॉजिकल और बायोटिक एनवायरनमेंट. Whereas in case if we see the opposite, that is abiotic. बायोटिक तो है लेकिन abiotic, that means include non-living components like air, water, soil, sunlight, temperature, etc. So these are affecting the life of biotic components. Okay, so they constitute abiotic or physical environment. The environment constituted by biotic components is known as biotic or biological environment, while the environment constituted by abiotic components is known as physical or abiotic component. Factors which affect the living organisms are found in that area. Okay, so in particular area, suppose if water is affecting the living organism, soil is affecting the living organism, that means if you are able to observe abiotic component in a particular area, there might be living organisms compulsory. Or else in case if you find any living organism in a particular area, there will be abiotic component surrounding that particular living organism. That means what? Abiotic and biotic components both are completely dependent on each other. Okay, and when I add or when I bring together the components biotic and abiotic, it forms natural environment. Environment formed by biotic components is biological environment or biotic environment, and the environment formed by abiotic is known as physical environment. So when I consider both the environment together, that is biological and physical environment, I get something known as natural environment. So you in practical, in real, ऐसा कभी कोई biological environment नहीं दिखेगा. मतलब ऐसा कोई environment नहीं दिखेगा जिसमें सारे living organisms ही हो, या ऐसा कोई भी environment नहीं मिलेगा जिसमें सारे नॉन लिविंग हो. तुम्हें ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट दिखेगा जिसमें दोनों मिलेंगे, और ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट को हम बोलते हैं नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट. ओके, नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट. अब अगर तुम देखो, अगर एक एनवायरनमेंट को कंसीडर करते हो तो उसके बेसिक कंपोनेंट सेम होंगे. एनवायरनमेंट नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट है, ठीक है. तो नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट जैसे हिली एरियाज हो सकता है, डेजर्ट हो सकता है, ठीक है, कोस्टल एरियाज हो सकता है. तो दीज आर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट. फॉरेस्ट एरिया हो सकता है, ठीक है. दीज आर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ, और यू कैन से डिफरेंट नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट. तो तुम देखो, सबका एनवायरनमेंट अलग होगा, सबका टेम्परेचर अलग है. इधर बहुत ठंडी है, इधर बहुत गर्मी है, मॉडरेट क्लाइमेट है. एंड हियर दोपहर में बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी होती है तो रात को बहुत ज्यादा ठंडी होती है. तो डिपेंड्स ऑन द फॉरेस्ट ऑल्सो की रेन फॉरेस्ट ले रही हो कि डेसिडियस, तो टेम्परेचर बदलेगा, है ना. द थिंग आई वांट टू एक्सप्लेन हियर इज कि नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट मैंने ये चार कंसीडर किए. एनवायरनमेंट अलग है, बट इसके बेसिक कंपोनेंट्स, इन सब में तुम्हें एयर मिलेगी, इन सब में तुम्हें सॉइल मिलेगी. भले सॉइल अलग अलग है, यहाँ पे सैंडी मिलेगी, तो यहाँ पे एलुवियल या क्ले, लोमी, जो फर्टाइल हो वो सॉइल मिलेगी. कोस्टल एरियाज में सैंड मिलेगा, लेकिन अलग तरह का मिलेगा. अलग अलग सॉइल अलग अलग एरियाज में मिलेगी, बट सॉइल तो मिलेगी, एयर तो मिलेगी, वाटर भी मिलेगा. भले अमाउंट कम हो, इधर कम कम, इधर ज्यादा, ओके, बट है तो सही ना. So the basic components air, water, soil you can found in all the environments, but the environment is changing, means changing the environment doesn't mean the components are changing. The basic components remain same. Amount may differ, but the basic components remain same, although the environment may change. Keep it in mind. Moving down to next, human beings can change the natural environment to suit their needs. गर्मी होती है, एसी चालू कर दिया तो ठंडी जैसा माहौल बन जाता है. जो 16 डिग्री सेल्सियस ठंडियों में होता है वो हम एसी से गर्मियों में भी ला सकते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट we are making the environment suit for us. We are not living in natural environment like earlier in forests. So forests are the examples of natural environment. Whereas villages and cities which we consider are not natural environment but are human made environments. Okay, so we discussed about different kinds of environments. We started with what is environment. We discussed, है ना. So environment is nothing but the living organisms, or the everything which is surrounding and affecting that living organism is nothing but environment. Then we talked about ecology. That means the relationship between that organism and its surrounding. If we are studying that, then it is known as ecology. When I am studying the relationship of an organism and its surrounding, then I would be saying that I am talking about ecology. Okay, then we talked about biotic and abiotic components. So there is a very favorite question asked in exam: what is the difference between biotic components and abiotic components? Rather, this is very common. So they can also ask, what is the difference between physical environment and biological environment? So you would be saying physical environment would include abiotic components. That means which components are included in abiotic components? All non-living things such as air, water, sunlight, temperature, etc. In case if I talk about biotic environment or as biological environment, that means it would include biotic components. What biotic components are included in this environment? Like plants and animals and all living organisms. Okay. Next, we discussed about when I consider biological and physical environment together, I get something known as natural environment. So forest is the example of natural environment, but the ones the environment in which we are living, that is villages and cities, are not considered as natural environment but are considered as human made environment, because human beings can change the natural environment to suit their needs. Okay, according to their needs they would be manipulating, changing their surroundings. Okay, and would ultimately result in the formation of something known as human made environment. Okay, so this was the basic introduction regarding this chapter, although it took half an hour, but it was very important for you to understand these things in detail. Okay, so we moved on to next topic, which says biotic components and their interactions. Okay, so we discussed about biotic components. What are biotic components? The components which includes all living organisms, and the environment which these components constitute is known as biological or biotic environment. Biological or biotic environment. Okay, so biotic components and their interactions. First of all, we would be talking about different biotic components, and then we would be discussing how they are interacting among themselves or with the non-living organisms. Okay, so if I want to divide or if I want to further classify biotic components, so I would be classifying depending on how they obtain food. Different living organisms have different method to obtain food from environment. What did I say? It is different living organisms have different ways to obtain food from environment. Okay, so when I talk about depending on how they obtain food, there are three types of biotic components. These are producers, consumers and decomposers. So if we start with producers, what are producers? Producers are biotic components. Okay, they are living organisms. So what are they? Okay, what are the examples? You will be seeing one by one. Okay, different kinds of biotic components. So if we talk about producers, organisms that make their own food. ऐसे organisms जो अपना खाना खुद से बनाए, उनको हम क्या बोलेंगे? Producers. Producers are also known as autotrophs. If we do the sandhi vichhed of this term, if we break the term, auto means self, troph means food. So those organisms which make their own food, they are not dependent on other organisms for their food. They are known as producers or autotrophs. What are the examples? The examples are green plant. How do green plants obtain their food? You had learnt in earlier classes also. That is by the process known as, yes, you are absolutely correct, that is photosynthesis. What happens in photosynthesis? Plants take carbon dioxide along with water. In presence of sunlight, we get something known as glucose, which is the food prepared by plants along with oxygen. Oxygen is released. Okay, so this could be the simple way to represent photosynthesis, wherein plants taking carbon dioxide and water from roots, okay, with the help of sunlight and the leaves which is acting as kitchen of plant where the food is made, okay, they make food known as glucose along with oxygen. So they release oxygen. Okay, so this is how, by photosynthesis, plants which are known as producers are the organisms which are able to prepare their own food. Okay, next if we talk about consumers. Okay, so consumers is the another biotic component. Consumers are the organisms which are dependent directly or indirectly on plants for their food. Producers were the ones which do not depend on anyone. They are, self-sufficient. They say we can make our own food. Okay, but consumers are the ones which are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for their food. So these kind of organisms are referred as heterotrophs. The ones which can prepare their own food are known as autotrophs. The ones which can, which are dependent on plants for their food directly or indirectly are known as heterotrophs. Now how come directly or indirectly? That means the organism would directly consume on plants for their food or will consume animals. For example, let us take the example of lion. Let us take a simple food chain. Start with grass, comes cow, then comes lion. What happens is, cow feed on grass. So this animal for its food is dependent on grass or is dependent on plant directly. It will be directly eating plant. But lion, what is the food for lion? Is cow. That means the food for lion is cow. और cow कैसे survive कर पाई? क्योंकि उसने plant को खाया. So indirectly lion is eating grass or lion is dependent on grass. Okay, so there are animals which directly dependent on plants for food, for example cow, and there are animals which are indirectly dependent on green plants for their food, for example lion. We take further examples. Okay, examples like animals. Human beings are also the example of consumers. So if we talk about primary consumers, that means they eat the animals which eat plants. They are known as herbivores. You have already learned this. So these are known as primary consumers. Then there are secondary consumers. That means animals which eat other animals. So animals which are dependent on other animals for their food are known as secondary consumers. Okay, and if I talk about animals which are eating plants, dependent on plants directly, okay, directly dependent on plants for their food, they are known as herbivores, which are referred as primary consumers. And the ones which are dependent on other animals for their food are known as carnivores, which we have studied in earlier classes. These carnivores are also referred as secondary consumers. Okay, so if I talk about omnivores, omnivores are the animals which eat both plants and animals. Okay, so they are known as omnivores. What are the examples of omnivores? Humans. Some humans are vegetarian, they would be eating only plants. Then too also they won't be included in primary consumers, but we can say humans because certain humans eat both plants and animals. Okay. Next, if we talk about bear, that is also omnivore. If I talk about crow, is omnivore. That means if it gets animal, it would be eating animal. If crow gets plants or seeds, then it would also be feeding that. Okay. Now we move down to the third biotic component. As I said that on the basis of how the animals or living organisms obtain their food, there are three biotic components. Producers, which are believing that produce your own food. They synthesize their food on their own. That means they make their own food and eat. Okay, they are producers. Consumers are the ones which are directly or indirectly dependent on plants. Okay, now the third are decomposers. So the third is decomposers. Okay, third biotic component is decomposers. These are also consumers. Okay, so these includes microorganisms. Okay, the ones which we cannot see through naked eyes. What do we understand by naked eyes is कि directly अपने आँखों से नहीं देख सकते. You require some instrument to see these microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. So specifically bacteria and fungi are known as decomposers. Now what are decomposers? They are the consumers. Okay, that means they are dependent on plants directly or indirectly, as well as producers. So they feed on dead remains of plants and animals. That is, suppose when producer or consumer dies, so these bacteria and fungi come and feed on these dead bodies of consumer or producer. So it acts to decompose. That means decompose means what? Break down. Break down this dead material into nutrient substances. They feed. तो जब वो खाते हैं तो क्या होता है कि वो डेड मटेरियल ब्रेक होके न्यूट्रिशनल सब्सटेंसेस में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. These nutrient substances easily gets mixed with the soil. So decomposers play a very efficient role. Okay, they are very useful. Why? Because जो बॉडी के अंदर न्यूट्रिएंट्स ये प्रोड्यूसर, जब प्रोड्यूसर यानी प्लांट, तो जब प्लांट ग्रो हो रहा था तो ग्रो होने के टाइम पे उसने कुछ न्यूट्रिएंट्स लिए होंगे सॉइल से, ठीक है, वो न्यूट्रिएंट्स वो यूज कर रहा था. पर जब प्लांट डाई, ओके, when plant died, okay, what happened? The fungi and bacteria converted this dead material again into nutrients, and these nutrients again go back to the soil, so that ये soil के पास फिर से वही nutrients आ गए. ओके, समझ रहे हो? जैसे A amount of nutrients है ना, A amount of nutrients. So suppose A amount of nutrients were taken by plant during growth. तो क्या हुआ कि उसने ए अमाउंट ले लिया और सॉइल में से सपोज टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सॉइल इज बी। टोटल कितना है उसके पास बी है, उसमें से ए प्लांट ने ले लिया, ठीक है। जब वो डाई हुआ तो फिर से ए अमाउंट ऑफ सॉइल वापस मिल गया, ए अमाउंट ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट सॉइल को वापस मिल गया। कहने का मतलब ये है कि टोटल अमाउंट जो सॉइल में न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं वो चेंज कभी नहीं होता, क्योंकि जो लेते हैं प्लांट्स वो डाई होते तब वापस उतना ही देते हैं जितना उन्होंने लिया था। तो जितना लिया उतना वापस दिया, तो टोटल अमाउंट ए प्लस बी वुड रिमेन सेम, ठीक है। सो नेचर यू नो in this way cycles the nutrient, recycles the nutrients. Okay, so next you see the interactions among biotic components, कि एक बायोटिक दूसरे बायोटिक कंपोनेंट से कैसे इंटरैक्ट करता है। जैसे एनिमल्स आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन प्लांट्स फॉर फूड, शेल्टर एंड ऑक्सीजन। Okay, plants provide oxygen through photosynthesis, they provide shelter to animals, they also provide food, because these plants are acting as producers, as we have discussed. Now humans, which are included in animals, they depend on plants apart from food, shelter and oxygen for medicines, spices, wood, timber, rubber, cotton, jute and many more. Not only these things, but there are many things on which humans are depending on plants. Apart from this, vice versa, that is plants are also dependent on animals for what? For pollination and dispersal of seeds. Okay, so we have we have been discussing this. This is basically talking about reproduction in plants. Okay, so what is pollination, what are pollen grains, okay, how the dispersal of seeds occur, these would be pretty much clear in your class 7th. Okay, there is chapter known as reproduction in flowering plants. So that there you would be studying in detail what is pollination and how it is responsible, how animals are responsible for pollination. Okay, so that you would be studying in detail, but the thing is, for reproduction in plants, animals are in a way responsible and they are helping the plants to reproduce by pollination or by dispersion of seeds. So dispersion of seeds, yes, you can understand now. How? So when an animal eats a plant or feed any fruit of that particular plant, so the animal while eating, okay, it pluck the fruit from that plant. Okay, it moves from that area, ठीक है, जहाँ से उसने फ्रूट खाया वहां से वो कोई दूसरी एरिया पे जाता है जब तक वो फ्रूट खा रहा है, और फिर जो वो सीड है वो कोई दूसरे एरिया पे डिस्कार्ड किया। मतलब क्या? सीड को एक एरिया से दूसरे एरिया ट्रांसफर करा। जहाँ सीड डाला, अगर वहां पे प्रॉपर एनवायरनमेंट मिला तो वहां पे ही उस सीड से वो पर्टिकुलर प्लांट ग्रो हो सकता है। द थिंग इज कि सीड डिस्पर्सल के वजह से प्लांट की पॉपुलेशन बढ़ सकती है। ऐसे कुछ एनिमल्स हैं, ठीक है, जैसे मान लो कि एनिमल के बॉडी पे भी कई बहाने से द सीड गेट स्टक, तो वो एक उनके बॉडी पे कहीं पे भी सीड चिपक जाती है, और फिर जब वो एक एरिया से दूसरी एरिया में जाते हैं तो क्या होता है, सीड पॉसिबिलिटीज है कि फिर सीड वहां पे गिर जाए। तो क्या हुआ कि एक जगह से दूसरी जगह सीड को ट्रांसफर कराए, नोइंगली अननोइंगली, है ना, उन्हें नहीं पता, बट दे आर हेल्पिंग प्लांट्स in reproduction, in dispersal of seeds, that is in increasing their population. Okay, apart from this, जो एनिमल का एक्सक्रीटा होता है, जो डेड बॉडीज होती है, that is also acting as a nutrients for plants, as I have discussed, कि भाई एक बार अगर प्लांट मर गया तो जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स उसने सॉइल में से लिए थे फिर से वो दे रहा है, ठीक है। बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, जो ह्यूमन बॉडीज है या डेड बॉडीज है, जब वो डाई होती है, ठीक है, तो उनका जो न्यूट्रिएंट सॉइल में जाता है वो सॉइल में से एक प्लांट ग्रो कर सकता है और वो प्लांट वही न्यूट्रिएंट्स लेगा। कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर मैंने, ठीक है, ये प्लांट दूसरा प्लांट ग्रो हुआ, है ना। तो मतलब क्या कि अगर एक प्लांट ग्रो किया ये न्यूट्रिएंट यूज करके, तो वो जब डाई होगा तो वो वापस न्यूट्रिएंट्स दे देगा ताकि यही न्यूट्रिएंट्स दूसरा प्लांट लेके फिर से ग्रो कर सके। क्या बोला कि उसने एक प्लांट आया जिसने सॉइल में से न्यूट्रिएंट्स लिया, वो ले तो सकता है पर जब वो डाई होगा तो उसको वापस न्यूट्रिएंट्स दे देंगे। क्यों? ताकि ये न्यूट्रिएंट्स फिर से दूसरा प्लांट यूज करके सरवाइव कर सके। सो टू मेक द सर्वाइवल साइकिल कंटिन्यू, ठीक है, जितना न्यूट्रिएंट ले रहे हो उतना वापस देना है। सो दिस इज हाउ बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स आर इंटरैक्टिंग विथ ईच अदर। Okay, so now let us discuss the part for which you are awaiting for a long time, that is the question. देखो questions तो पूछे जा सकते हैं, but by revising what all things we discussed in this video lecture, let us discuss the question. First question कैसे पूछ सकते हैं? Where are लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स फाउंड? पूछ सकते हैं ना, क्योंकि वी स्टार्टेड विद दैट ओनली कि भाई लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स हमें कहाँ कहाँ मिलते हैं। सो एवरीवेयर। ओके, वी डिस्कस्ड डिफरेंट एरियाज, देन वी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट व्हाट इज एनवायरमेंट. व्हाट वाज एनवायरमेंट? हाउ यू कैन डिफाइन एनवायरमेंट is what we discussed कि environment क्या है, कि वो organism, ठीक है, the surrounding, everything in its surrounding which is affecting that living organism is nothing but environment. Okay, next, define ecology. Okay, so it is nothing but the relationship. Okay, it is obviously since I have added logy, कोई भी टर्म के पीछे लॉजी आता है, that means study. So study of relationship between biotic components and its environment or its surrounding is known as ecology. Okay, next question पूछा जा सकता है, differentiate between biotic and abiotic component. Okay, this is first differentiate. Second पूछा जा सकता है biological and physical environment. Are you getting? Okay, or else you can say, what do you understand by natural environment? Okay, and how it is different from human made environment. Okay, so the thing is, we have discussed biotic and abiotic. Biotic components include all living organisms. Okay, they constitute biological environment, while abiotic components include all non-living not organisms but all non-living things like sun, temperature, air, water, soil, etc. Okay, and these constitute what? Physical environment or abiotic environment, and they are, these factors are affecting the life of biotic components. Okay, apart from this, biological and physical, same we have discussed. Biological environment includes biotic components, physical environments include abiotic components. In case, what do you understand by natural environment? So when I consider biological and physical environment together, I get something known as natural environment. For example, hilly areas, desert, forests are examples of natural environment. But in case the villages and cities and the things or the environment which humans have made, or the modifications which have been done by humans in the natural environment, okay, that particular environment is known as human made environment. Okay, so this is what the thing. We next talked about, three divisions of biotic components. So you can be asked, okay, so you should know producers, consumers, and what else? Decomposers. Decomposers are itself consumers, but they, instead of feeding on directly on plants or indirectly on plants, they are feeding on dead remains of plants and animals. Okay, what do? Is they feed on dead plants. They act to decompose or to break down that dead material into nutrient substances, which are again given back to the soil, so that this soil can provide these nutrients to the other plants for further ensurement of growth, कि भाई आगे और भी survival होता रहे, life आगे बढ़ता रहे. ठीक है? So these are the three biotic components we discussed, and how biotic components are interacting. We have checked out few examples. Okay, so with this extra questions this can be asked in your exam. Okay, I would like to end this lecture. In the next class we would be starting with next topic.